cousin here doing a whole live, honey. We done pulled up on a whole black-owned restaurant. And listen, y'all, I walk in, okay, let me tell you. I walk in, I'm like, oh, this is nice parking. And y'all know it's hard to find parking in the DMV area. Y'all know I be over it all the time. So I get here, I walk in, I'm like, oh, this black-owned? Fancy. I mean, the whole aesthetic, decor, and the smell. You know, I used to walk into your grandma's house and be like, "Ooh, mama, what you cooking?" It was just like that, amazing. And so I pull up and I see my homegirls, and then I run into this king right here. Yeah. So you know we had to pull up, and y'all gotta just get into it. I don't like to do introductions, because I feel like you can always pick up yourself, you know. So tell the people who you are.
I'm DC's own JusPaul, right out of Southeast Anacostia, Washington,
Southeast.
DC. Yes, Southeast Anacostia. I'm a R&B singer, go-go curator, writer, vocal producer, performer, entertainer, all-around musical entrepreneur.
Yes, definitely musical entrepreneur who is worldwide, honey.
Yes.
Yeah. Bigger than the DMV. This man has been everywhere. So I do definitely want to go, because you are so talented, for one. Like, I was vibing to you the entire ride here. Like, I was like, yes, because I'm all about like sound vibrations and healing, and because all of that is very powerful. Yeah. It definitely, taps into our psyche. We have to be mindful of what we're intaking. It's deeper than just your food. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, your diet is more than just what you eat. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I definitely appreciated that, the vibes that you're giving is so real. Like, I can tell you're not just doing this for the check. You're not just doing this. Like, I can hear the passion in your voice.
Yeah, I love it.
And that's really dope. Tell us how you got started. Like, what made you, was it like one day, like, you was like, I can do this a little bit? Like, tell us the very beginning of what led you to this.
So, I've always been into music. I was one of those kids that, banged on the table.
Yeah.
But I also, I kind of got into music. I discovered my voice at 9 years old.
Okay.
And then I was rapping, though. I rapped. I learned how to rap at like 10.
Okay.
I rapped. I battle rap. Then I started doing community-based rap. And then I fell into the R&B and the singing part when I started recording. When I actually started recording is when I really fell into, like, I can record singing and it's okay,
Yeah.
And so I've always loved music,
Yeah.
I've always loved the sound, I've always loved vibration. I've always loved it. And so once I fell in love with like the music industry and everything that happens behind the scenes and the things that go along with doing music, I think I've never let it go. I'm never gonna let it go.
So do you still dibble and dabble in the rap a little bit, or you kind of let that part of yourself go?
I do it sometimes behind closed doors. If I'm playing some neo soul beats, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes I play like neo soul beats off of YouTube and just vibe to it. Sometimes I just sit back to it and let that be the background music to my life, right?
Okay.
And then I might bust out a freestyle.
Hey. So I like that though. Tell me more about your creative process, like, because I'm so intrigued by that. Like, as a creative, we do a lot of weird stuff. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, when I get in my zone, like, I gotta have a certain candle lit, have my incense, have my essential oils going. Like, it's like I gotta create this. Like, I literally curate this whole space. So what's your creative process like? Well, it's getting in your zone.
It varies, to be honest with you. It's different. Everything I do. Some songs just call for a different type of mood, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes I do the candle thing, right?
Okay,
sometimes.
see, I'm telling you.
Sometimes I have to record that song unwritten in a studio. Like, I have a beat and I can listen to it a bunch of times, or I might have some music that. There's so many things. Like, so I'll have a beat, I listen to it, and I don't write a thing down. Take it to the studio, go in the booth, hum some gibberish over it. I call it gibberish, but it's really my spirit speaking, because we speak in English right now, right? So, but that's not my spirit's language. So I let the gibberish out. Then I go back and listen to what my gibberish may have been saying in English, and I go in and word line for line and melody for melody, match words to the melody, and let it come out like that. Sometimes on vacation, I'm writing while I'm sitting on the beach. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it's like it's different for every joint. Some of my best stuff though has come when I'm in the car and the music is playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my most recent favorites have been coming from my live performance. When I do an improv piece, I might tell the crowd, okay, I'll tell my musician, play an E flat major. Now, I can't read music, but I know what it feel like when I hear it.
Yeah.
So I say, play E flat major. They play that. And then I say, okay, we're not gonna be the only people up here on the stage working.
Right.
The crowd gonna write a song. So I'll get a word from the right, a word from the middle, and a word from the left.
Okay.
Take those 3 words, make a song right on the spot. Yeah.
Because and that's poetry to me. That's an entire. I used to dance and write in my former life, like not like booty club dance, but like I did ballet and African and all of that. So I just love to hear that because I know I used to do little things like that, like take different pieces and all of that. Yeah, speaking of your live shows, how many instruments can you play or do you play?
So I have the ability to play the keys in a kind of novice or beginner level.
Okay.
I play the drums. I play the congos a little bit.
Okay.
I can hold it down. I play the cowbell, tambourine, and I think I'm missing something. But yeah, I can play about 4 instruments.
That's dope. Yeah. So you not only have the voice, have the creativity to create, you also out there just, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
As a creative, like, how does because you are very much a very proud black man. That was one thing that I could instantly pick up on you.
Absolutely.
How does your blackness, like, not affect in a negative way, but how does it influence your creative side?
I'm very intact and in touch with my African side.
Yeah.
So I try to let those vibes be on the forefront, but I also have a consciousness about the Black American, the Motown style thing, right? And so, like, people say I'm an old soul because I focus real hard on just letting it be soul music, you know what I'm saying? Letting it be soul music and tapping into, like, you know, that old school feeling.
Right.
Like, although I'm a new school person in age.
Yeah.
So it's a mixture of both, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So like, it really makes a big difference in what I'm doing. I let that influence just pour out of me. I try not to go too far left, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes, you know, you want to make music for the whole world. And so, you know, different ideas may come and you try to just implement that stuff, but.
Okay. And if you are just tuning in, we got JusPaul here. We are at the Blue Waters Caribbean and Seafood Grill in Temple Hills, Maryland.
Yeah.
Black owned, with a really dope black creative. It's Black History Month. I mean, we just all black up in here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, so you mentioned making music for the world. You really have traveled this world, which is so important to me. I feel like as black people, we are citizens of the world.
Yeah.
Any place you go, we're there. You know what I mean? Like, people like to limit us, but anywhere in this world, like, I remember being in Panama, and I'm like, are you my cousin? Like, we literally look just alike. This is scary.
Yeah.
So tell us a few of the places that you've been.
Well, you mentioned Panama. I'm going there, is that next month? Yeah, next month we're going to Panama.
You in the schedule?
Next month we're going to Panama with the Blackbyrds. I've been to Russia. I did some stuff in Russia last year with Elijah Balbid, taking jazz and go-go out there and trying to, you know, just show people what it is.
Okay.
Turks and Caicos, we did some stuff out in Turks and Caicos for the Caribbean House Evolution Festival with Johnny Legend and all them. Shout out to everybody in Turks and Caicos. London, of course, a bunch of London. That's like my second home. London.
I heard that there's a really big, like, go-go dance hall reggae.
It's definitely down there. There's some go-go sprinkled in.
Yeah.
And so what I'm trying to do with the UK is really put it into their DNA, actually. Like the same way we got it here, I want them to feel that same thing. You know, people play over there all the time. Trouble Funk always plays in London. Yeah. And I think it's because of follow-up of that movie that came out, Good to Go. There's a movie that came out called Good to Go with little beats in it. And the promoter in that movie was from the UK. And I think the follow-up with that music, the soundtrack for that, trickled over there. You know, Chuck Brown did a lot of shows out there as well. So I think...
the GOAT, the great.
Yeah, the great, the Godfather.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So who are some of your influences or some of your favorite artists? I mean, being that you travel the world so much, I know you've heard and seen everything. Like, who are some of your, who inspires you?
Stevie,
who you listen to?
I'm going with Stevie Wonder.
Yes.
Usher Raymond.
Okay.
James Funk from the original Red Essence band.
Yes.
Chuck Brown, James Brown. That's my top 5. I just really hit it right. I never said it as fast as that. That's my top 5.
That's a solid top 5, though.
Yeah.
Could you imagine them all in one venue?
Oh
my
crazy.
God, it would
That
be
would
so
be
lit.
crazy.
It would be crazy.
Yeah.
It would be crazy. What was one of your favorite places that you've been to, like, and that you performed at? Like your favorite crowd?
My favorite crowd. Ooh. My favorite crowd thus far outside of America would have to be Orenburg, Russia. Orenburg. Yeah.
Listen,
It's like right outside of
I ain't never heard of
Kazakhstan.
that. Right,
Yeah.
I'm like, where is that at?
It's right outside of Kazakhstan. I think the population is like 1.2 million, like pretty much the same amount as Fairfax County.
Oh, wow.
And I can say like they got a nice, young, spunky town out there. It's like real like, yeah, we here to party. And you know,
they partying in Russia,
they
y'all.
partying in Russia, y'all.
Who
I'm telling
knew,
you.
y'all? Who knew?
It's not like what we see. By popular thought of what Russia is, it's not. It's not.
Right.
It's not what we seen on TV.
Right.
You understand? Maybe they
Right.
got like some government disparities and stuff like that, right? Because you know, America and Russia they ain't always been.
Right.
But the people, they trying to have a good time.
Yeah. That's what's up, though. That's what's up. I love that. Like I said, we as Black creatives can kind of just traverse this world and put out what we are like pieces of our soul, because that's really what it is. Like you're sharing a part of you with the world.
Absolutely.
And to be able to take that global, that's powerful.
Absolutely.
There's power in that.
Yeah.
What would you say is your main message? Like with the passing of the late great Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna, it's really put me in a place of like, what's my legacy? What am I leaving?
Right.
So for you, have you had those thoughts? And if so, you know, what is your legacy? What do you want when we look back and we look at the impact that JusPaul has made on the music and lives? What do you want that to be? What do you want that message to say?
To follow your passion, chase your dreams, and I know that's typical, but the what I've learned in my experience is that your dreams are the pathway to your freedom, right? You can
see why he's a songwriter, y'all. The man has bars, okay?
You can do what you want. You can feel how you want. You can think how you want if you're chasing your dream. You know, of course, you know, do what you're supposed to do before you do what you want. Do what you need to do before you do what you desire. So you know, make stability. But if you're chasing your dream, you gotta put the work in.
Yeah.
And if you're chasing your dream, oh man, there's no limit.
Yeah.
There's no limit.
Yeah.
The sky ain't even a limit. There's no
right,
limit.
it's no limit. Has it been, because I know I always like to ask creatives, this is of course the age of social media, so everybody has a page, everybody is a creative, you know, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Has that been difficult for you to not kind of dive into imposter syndrome? It's like, I don't want my sound to sound like them, I don't want to, you know.
It's
how
been
have
a
you
lot.
been able to keep your individuality in this world of like copycatters and a whole lot of fake shit?
The unfollow button.
Ooh.
I use that joint a lot. I use it a lot, and not in a mean way, but I mean, one thing I do is I want to make sure I'm not feeding myself the wrong stuff too.
Right.
So if I see something that just don't correspond with where I'm trying to head to, unfollow. If I see something that I feel like could influence me too much, unfollow. I support people's music. I support people's movements, right?
Yeah.
But if it's negative, unfollow, right?
Yeah.
And so, one of the main things I try not to do is go down the wormhole. Because as an artist, you gotta post, you gotta make content, right? And so you find yourself like,
yes.
you go to the explore page and you there for 30
right.
minutes.
You just get lost, and the next thing you know, you looking at how-to videos of how to make a wheel, and it's just like, how did I get here?
How did I get here? So I try not to go to the explore page, and then I also just like, you know, just I know that I got other stuff to do, so I'm quick to close my Instagram out and go to my email.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
keeping that thing mind over matter.
Yeah, and I like that. Speaking of mind, what are some things that you do to feed your soul, to feed your mind? Because as a creative, one thing I will say too, like you said, we got to be mindful of what we're taking in.
Yeah.
You're obviously a very intelligent, articulate man. So what are some things that you do just to keep your mind sharp and keep you focused? Like, are you a reader, a meditator?
I read. I talk to myself a lot. It's nothing wrong with talking to yourself. Talk to yourself.
No.
Because yourself talk back.
Yeah.
And you getting answers.
Yeah.
I think it's something that they said in, like, I don't know if it's a religion or if it's one of those. I think it's in the meditation where the answers to all of your questions are in the universe already. It's already here.
Yes.
And it's already inside you. So if you talk to yourself, you'll find the answer.
Yeah.
Another thing I do read. Not as often as I should, but I do read. I've read books. I've read The Miseducation of the Negro.
Okay.
Classic. Yeah, that's a classic. I read Rick James' Glow. It's a book by Rick James about his life and how drug use tore him down. He get published before he passed.
Wow.
And Earth, Wind, and Fire, Shining Star, and Jermaine Dupri's Young, Black, and Dangerous, Young, Rich, and Dangerous. That's a good read for anybody trying to be an entrepreneur in music. Read.
That's the one.
Read that joint. That's a good joint to be reading. And so, and then I just surround myself with people that, you know what I'm saying, thinkers. Visionaries.
Yes.
Surround myself with visionaries that keep my mind, that keep my mental on point.
That's one thing. Like the energy that you surround yourself with, the frequency that they're on. That's really important because that can have such a major influence on you.
Absolutely.
Who is in your circle that keeps you, keep you on your toes? Who's your accountability partner to be like, all right, Jess, come on, yo, you playing around? Like, I feel like we always have that one or multiple if we're blessed enough. Who was that one in your circle?
Well, my mother for sure. I'm blessed to still have my mother in my life, and she definitely. She handles like some of my administrative stuff too.
Okay.
So if some fancy paperwork got to be sent out, it's usually her to hit it. I make the initial stuff, but whatever I miss, she gonna catch it.
Right. Okay.
And she keeps me on point. She makes sure I'm not doing nothing too ratchet. My business manager, Randy Grille from Gill's Way Entertainment, he definitely keeps me on point as well.
Okay.
So
that's what's up. You gotta have those gotta have the right ones in your corner.
Yeah.
For the young artist that's out here that's like, I got this song in my heart, it's in my soul, like I want to do this, I'm scared, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to start. Being that you are, a vet in this game, such a dope creative, travel the world, do so much. If they're listening right now, what advice, or just speak to them, what would you tell them to help them get started?
Ask yourself if you actually love music. Do you actually love music? If you do, then take that love that you have for music and push yourself to go to the studio. Take that $50 and get you some studio time and go in and at least try, right? Go in and at least try. If you need somebody to help you try and you're in the DMV area, dial 202-766-4889 and I'll come walk you through your record free of charge. I'll walk you through your record.
Wow.
Absolutely. I do vocal production as well. So there's an artist there from Eastern Shore named Young Swag who was a dancer. He's actually on what's that show, Wildin' Out right now.
Oh, that's what's up.
And he wanted to do music, and they brought him to me, and he ended up getting a record deal with Atlantic Records. Wow. So it's been proven that you give me a call, and I'll come and show you, I'll walk you through your record. I'll bring out what you are imagining and push you through to give you, to get you at least in the direction that you're trying to go.
That's amazing. I am all about like community and working together, and that's amazing because I feel like, especially in the music business, it's not a lot of what you just said right now. Like, I feel like people be like, oh, I got to work on my stuff. Like, I don't have nothing to do with what you got going on.
Right.
So that's really powerful. Yeah. Wow. I'll definitely make sure that I put that too. So put your information because I know that there are I do a lot of work with the youth. I'm a mentor. I do all of that. So I know it's a lot of them that, they're creative, they're passionate, but they don't know.
Yep.
And it's like they can't ask their mother, their father. They're like, go get a job.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
And one thing about music that I learned from experience is that if you follow music in the most positive direction, you'll stay completely out of trouble. There ain't no trouble when you're doing this the right way.
Right.
Ain't no trouble when you when you're getting on a plane and you're going to London to go do a show.
Right.
And going to all these different countries. Only trouble you're going to get is if you go and make that trouble yourself.
Right.
And another piece of trouble you'll get is if you're sitting around doing nothing. So it don't even got to be music that your passion is. Whatever your passion is, if you follow it, it is literally the pathway to your freedom.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And y'all know this is the Freedom Podcast. We all about Black liberation over here.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. And again, if you're just tuning in, we are live at the Blue Waters Black-owned restaurant here in Temple Hills, Maryland. So y'all come through. It's great. It's parking. The food is great. The decor is good. Like, the staff is amazing. It's not that typical, it's Black-owned, so it's not. No, it's upscale.
This is upscale.
Yeah, it's
right
upscale.
Here.
We doing what we need to do for us. Just like this man right here, holding it down as a creative, holding it down for go-go. Like, I love that.
Yes.
I have to ask, what did you think when... it was a couple months ago, but the whole they were trying to stop the go-go music, and it was all the protests. What was that moment like for you? Because for me, y'all know I'm from Charles-City County, honey. I'm from a small town in Virginia. So being up here and just seeing the power of DC is go-go. Y'all not getting rid of us. Y'all can't silence us. We will not be muted. I was there at that protest.
The Motella?
Yes.
You said Motella?
Oh my goodness.
I was out that jump.
Oh my gosh. That was amazing.
I love the fact that happened because it's brung the spotlight back on to go-go.
Yeah.
I've never let it go. There was an era or a time in DC where go-go was dwindling away because they was keeping it outside of the city limits, and they brung it out here to Prince George's County. And they, it spread, right? And so it wasn't in the heart and soul of this area.
Yeah.
And but when that complaint happened, which I want people to be clear, that was a petition. That just wasn't somebody calling T-Mobile. They signed over 20 signatures in that building to complain about that go-go.
Wow.
So it was, it was targeted. And I gotta say, I was like, oh yeah, y'all done messed up now. And one of the main things is go-go, and I want this to go on record, go-go is not just DC, right?
Okay.
Go-go, those live drums, that bell and those drums, that's Africa right there.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I've always said, I'm like, that's why I'm so drawn to go-go, because I'm like, I really feel like I could be doing West African movements to this. You can feel that.
Yeah, that's Africa right there. And the reason why, I think the reason why it was created in DC is because at the time DC was so full of so many black people. Right. This was such a black area that it just naturally came about. It just naturally comes out. It pours out of us all the time.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
in our DNA, it's embedded.
Yeah. And the beautiful part is it led to the legislation that we just got passed, with DC being an official music genre and the official music of Washington D.C.
That is so dope. I love it. We did that.
Now we just put some money behind that thing.
Yes.
And we good to go.
All right, so I don't want to talk your head off all day, but let everybody know where they can find you, where they can catch you at your next show, because y'all have to see this man live. Y'all know I'm all about live music and dope. Like, listen, it's a vibe. Like, get you a cute little date, y'all dress up, get cute, honey, throw on a head wrap from Conscious Kingdom.
Yes, indeed.
And pull up to the show. So let everybody know where they can follow you and how they can catch you at your next performance.
You can follow my Facebook at JusPaul Music. That's JusPaul Music. Follow me on Instagram at JusPaul, JusPaul. My next few shows, there's one on the 8th at Babylon in Woodbridge on the 8th of February. It's going to be R&B and go-go. DJ Trini on the ones and twos.
Honey.
Yes,
nothing but a vibe.
Yes, indeed. And the show after that is at the Shops at Iverson, what you know as Iverson Mall. It's going to be the Black Love event, my Valentine's Day weekend special on February the 15th at Iverson Mall. It's going to be off the chain. It's going to be love. It's going to be go-go. It's going to be R&B. It's going to be soul. A little bit of funk. A little bit of jazz. It's going to be a little bit of everything.
And I'm going to be in the middle of the floor twirling.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, it's called Black Love. So, not a lot of people do shows in this area that celebrate Black love. But this one, I'm gonna make it a special one for us all at Allison Mall.
Okay. Make sure y'all follow him, check him out, support him. You will not be disappointed. Y'all know I don't vouch for people unless I rock with them, and I'm telling you, if you're into just music that feels good, like it sonically, it feels good. It makes you feel good. Definitely check him out at JusPaul. I'm gonna tag everything so y'all can check him out and support, man. Support. We need to support our Black creatives because it's people like this that are keeping those legacies going.
Yes.
It's people like this that, you know, keeping that traditional, real, authentic music.
Yes.
There's a lot of fluff out here.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of foolery.
Absolutely.
We need to support the real ones. Thank you so much for taking the time out.
you.
This is my new brother, y'all.
Yes, absolutely.
We done got a new cousin.
Yeah. What's up,
Again,
family?
this is the official Conscious Kingdom podcast with JusPaul. We are at Blue Waters Caribbean and Seafood Grill, a Black-owned restaurant right here in Temple Hills, Maryland. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and for the support, and we will see y'all later.
Peace. Yeah. Peace and love.
That was good.
Thank you. Nah, that's good.